who is a person?
Yeah, you asked me this question yesterday.
Who is a person?
I didn't have the answer yesterday,
Okay,
but I have the answer now. Dude.
Okay.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, so a person is, there are different ways I can go about this, but primarily a person is not what you see or who you see. A person is who they are. But who are they? A person is how they think. So there's an architecture inside a being, inside a person. The architecture is how their ideas are formed and structured. The way their ideas are structured, or the way their thinking is structured, or the way their understanding is structured, is who they really are. Right? So that's their meaning.
And you said this thing about how that a person is just a vessel.
Yes, a person is a human being.
Yeah, what's a human being? What's a human being really?
Is a clay pot, really.
Is it exactly?
Yeah.
Exactly.
For the life that is inside him.
Yeah.
And that life is his meaning. Yes, and that meaning is how they think.
Exactly. Yeah.
The same thing with what you call business. A business is actually a vessel. Yeah, it's a vessel
for thinking.
For thinking, so for ideas. And ideas are real. Ideas are life. Ideas are more real than objects. Objects are actually a lower version of ideas. You know, they are tangible versions of
ideas,
invisible ideas.
Yeah.
So, if you look at a business is like a vessel, right? Let me use this term. It's a vehicle for conveying meaning, right, to people, but it's conveyed from somewhere. It's conveyed from the mind of that organization or that team, right, to the minds of people who get to experience what their promise is. And if that promise is happiness, the experience of happiness is what makes that business meaningful.
That's so true.
Yeah, but if people are not experiencing what they claim to be giving,
then there's the disconnect there. And really, that's what we're actually trying to teach people here, is that as business owners, you know, they understand how to think. They know how to think first, so that they are able to actually do what we actually call business. Because like you just rightly defined, business is just the vehicle, like an entity, like an embodiment, like a vessel, for a thinking that is transferred to another person, who, when the person hears that story, believes, that belief builds faith for what they promise or what they are offering.
They experience that promise, yes.
Yeah, they experience that promise, and then they buy into it and they can put value on it. And just imagine if like a lot of people could do that. But again, we'll be focusing on the wrong thing if we don't start from the beginning, which is imagine if a lot of people could think.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So how let's talk more about how to think.
How to think. Yeah, so how to think I think it's a very crucial part of life that sadly is not emphasized in modern education. And even the religion doesn't emphasize how to think. People are told what to think. People are told these are the boundaries for what they can think. But naturally, if people grew up without the external influences of, almost say, their family sometimes, because their family can be a huge influencer to how they think, the religious entities that they're subscribed to, or Western education, naturally people would be able to think better than they do. They will learn how to think because it's inbuilt, as an inbuilt program in man. And man is going to navigate through his environment and explore his environment. By exploring his environment, he's going to realize or discover meaning in his environment. He will realize how water behaves when you step inside it. As a child, a 2-year-old, he will see that, there's something. He might not know that is called fluid density or elasticity of membranes. He won't know the physics of it.
Yeah.
But as he grows and he processes, understands that leaves are different from cotton. You know, cotton is different from steel. He's already learning how. Sadly, he goes to school, and in school he's told this is A is for apple. He's told what to think.
Yeah.
And the truth is, the more he knows what to think, the less he knows how to think. So, how to think is not primarily a subject to teach. You get? It's a consequence of having a particular disposition to life.
What is disposition?
So, I have a mentor. He teaches how to think. Like, this is what he does that. And he explains, the phrase he uses to describe this is, a truth-seeking behavior. And it's a big term, I mean, in the sense that we can talk
And that's
about
the
this for
disposition
hours.
that you're talking
But it's
about.
an internal disposition of a person to what is true.
Okay.
Because inside every person is like a compass seeking for what is true.
Yeah.
Right? And if that compass is left on, naturally the outcome will be that people find truth.
That's true.
So if you think, like there's this clinical psychiatrist, her name is Dr. Caroline Leaf. She teaches that if you teach people how to think, they will find God.
Interesting.
Yeah, so basically you'll find truth if you teach people how to think. And another example I want to give is a scientist. Eventually he got to be recognized by Nobel, but he didn't count it as anything. His name is Richard Feynman, and he's a physicist. His contributions in physics are very vast. He said his father taught him how to think. That's the biggest gift his father gave him, how to think. And how did he teach him how to think? Whenever they were walking on the pond, around the pond, he would show him the birds. He would just explore or encourage his curiosity. Curiosity is a natural thing that children have.
It's that compass you're talking
That's
about.
the compass, yeah. It's this truth-seeking compass in every human being that is killed by your engagement, your daily engagement with the world as it is. I mean, and the ideas of the world as they are through your school, what religion will tell you. Yeah, and then over time,
No. I just wanted to add to that, like, what do you think? When you said talking about curiosity, I was like, you know the saying where they say curiosity kills the cat.
Yeah, curiosity gives the cat opportunities to solve the problems that would have killed it.
That's different.
Yeah, it doesn't kill it.
It doesn't.
have you ever seen a cat that
died out of curiosity?
The diagnosed man said, cause of death, curiosity.
I mean, and you see again, that's a very good example of telling people what
to think. So if you bring up, there's so many quotations that you can bring up now, and when you say it, I'll just echo back to you.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I understand. It just means I can recite.
True.
So we can quote so many amazing
But doesn't
quotes.
mean,
Doesn't mean they're true. Doesn't mean we have understanding
of them. Yeah.